Have you ever wondered, will there really be a rapture? That moment when believers are suddenly taken up to meet Jesus? It's one of the most talked about mysteries in Christianity, but also one of the most misunderstood.
Ho, ho, ho!
Today on Word Alive TV, we're taking a cinematic, simple, and meaningful journey through the book of Revelation, exploring what the Bible actually says about the rapture, and what it doesn't. No fear. No confusion. Just clarity, scripture, and a story you can follow. Let's begin. The story begins on a lonely island called Patmos. John, the last living disciple, sits in exile. He is old. He is tired.
Ho, ho, ho!
He is surrounded by silence, but heaven is about to break through. One quiet morning, John hears a voice behind him, a voice like a trumpet. He turns, and suddenly, the physical world fades away. He sees Jesus, radiant, powerful, glorious. Jesus tells him, "Write the things you have seen." This is how the revelation begins, not with fear, but with Jesus revealing hope.
Ho, ho, ho!
Before we talk about when or how, we need to understand what the Bible actually shows. The word rapture is not in Scripture, but the event is described clearly. In 1 Thessalonians 4:17, Paul writes, "We will be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord." This is where the idea comes from, a moment when believers are caught up, meaning lifted or taken suddenly.
Ho, ho, ho!
So the real question is, does Revelation describe that moment? And if so, when does it happen? Let's walk into John's vision. In Revelation 4, John says, "I looked, and there before me was a door standing open in heaven. A voice says, 'Come up here.'" Many believers see this as a symbolic preview of the rapture, not the official event itself, but a picture of what it will feel like, a call, a moment.
Ho, ho, ho!
A sudden shift from earth to heaven. John is lifted into a realm of light and glory. He sees a throne, thunder, worship, and the beginning of God's final plan. But the question remains, when are God's people taken up? Before the tribulation? During? After? Revelation gives clues. And they're more hopeful than many expect. When Jesus opens the 7 seals, the world shakes.
Ho, ho, ho!
We see conquest, war, famine, death, and the cry of the martyrs. These events mirror what Jesus described in Matthew 24, the birth pains of the last days. But then something powerful happens in Revelation 7. John sees a countless number of believers standing before God in white robes.
Ho, ho, ho!
He asks who they are. An elder tells him, "These are the ones who came out of the great tribulation." This is important. It shows that God's people are not abandoned. They are protected, and they do not disappear from the story. But Revelation still has more to show. The Apostle Paul wrote in 1 Corinthians 15:52, "At the last trumpet,
Ho, ho, ho!
we will be changed." So what does Revelation say about the final trumpet? In Revelation 11, the 7th trumpet sounds. When it does, something breathtaking happens. Heaven declares God's victory. Evil begins to collapse, and the time arrives for God to reward his people. This trumpet moment aligns with Paul's description, a moment of transformation, victory, and divine gathering.
Ho, ho, ho!
This is why many believers connect the rapture with the final trumpet. It may not be a secret escape, but a powerful, visible moment when God gathers his people as he judges the world. Everything in Revelation builds toward one event, the return of Jesus. John describes the sky splitting open, light pouring out, and Jesus arriving with power and glory. Matthew 24 says, "He will send his angels,
Ho, ho, ho!
and they will gather his elect." Revelation and the Gospels agree on this point. The gathering of believers happens when Jesus returns in glory, not quietly, not secretly. But in a world-shaking moment, everyone will see it is dramatic, it is beautiful, and it is full of hope. The rapture isn't an escape story. It's a reunion story.
Ho, ho, ho!
A victory story. A moment when Jesus keeps his promise. I will come back for you. More important than when the rapture happens is why it happens. It means Jesus has not forgotten us. It means evil will not win. It means God will gather his people, and everything broken will be restored. Revelation is not a book of fear.
Ho, ho, ho!
It is a book of hope, written during a time of suffering to remind believers God finishes what he starts, and his people are never lost. If this cinematic journey helped you understand the rapture more clearly, please like, share, and subscribe to Word Alive TV, where we bring Scripture to life with heart and clarity. God is in control, from the first chapter to the last.
Ho, ho, ho!